All right, so welcome to your Intuitive Activation pre-workshop. So this is actually to guide you to the workshop that is coming up at the end of July in person in San Diego, California. And I basically am here just to take you on a journey into the heart of your intuition so you can learn how to trust your gut, so you can learn how to follow your intuition. And in doing so, you're going to be able to activate each of your energy centers called the chakras. Now, when each of these chakras are in balance, you are in alignment with Source. Life force energy, unconditional love, the universe. And so what happens is life becomes naturally harmonious because you're listening to yourself and you're allowing these beautiful centers to just blossom open like a lotus flower would open. So I'm going to share with you a personal story of mine to directly relate to you how my intuition has guided me, and my invitation for you is to do the same. So notice the ways and the areas in your life how you have been guided step by step, moment to moment when you've listened to your intuition. So for me, the biggest and most profound, positive, life-changing story that I can share is when I was 19 years old, I actually left college. I had a full-ride scholarship to attend a school in LA called Whittier College. And once I got there, I felt like I was a round peg and a square hole. I felt like I was going against every part of myself and really just forcing myself to do something that I really didn't want to do. And so I would spend hours and hours in meditation and just ask, what is it that I'm meant to do? And so these visions would come and I would see myself sitting across the way from somebody just like you, and knowing that they, you, me, all of us have the answers within us. And as we just open up, we drop in. So what I share with my students is stop, drop, and breathe. So you stop all the chatter, so there's constantly information going out of our brains, right? So we can pick up like a radio tower, all these different vibrations of thoughts. But what you do is you drop your awareness from your head into your heart. And from your heart, you can start to feel each thought and allow the thoughts to meet with love. Now, when the thought meets with love, it will lead you towards your intuition, which is going to be your gut feeling. So as you feel that thought meeting it with love, drop your awareness into your belly, a couple inches below your belly button, right to your gut feeling. And then you will feel that gut pulling you in one direction or another. So you may think about going in this direction, or you may think about going in that direction, and that transference of energy will come from your head to your heart all the way down to your gut and literally pull you like a magnet towards the direction that will serve your highest good. So I often talk about your intuition as being your inner compass because it literally is guiding you on the path of your highest potential. I also describe it as your soul embodied, because when you start to see the energetics of how our bodies work, you realize that they are also receptors of energy. So when you listen to your gut feeling, it's actually tracking your mind and your heart and the environment around you. It's picking up all of that. It's that innate wisdom. So when you start to listen and you follow and you take action on it, you see your miracles unfold. You raise your vibration. You align with that highest. So that's what the workshop is about. Activate your purpose is really activating your highest potential. And as you do that, you naturally are able to serve others. Okay, so we have the nonprofit One Heart Global, which we're giving funds back to the orphanage. So every person that comes, we donate back to them. And we also help you fulfill your purpose. And you help us fulfill ours. Because as we teach you, we feel fulfilled. So we are so grateful for your presence. So getting back to my story, I'm sitting under this tree, seeing this vision of you and me, totally knowing the answers within us. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm sure studying a lot of psychology theory that is like Freudian stuff and all this stuff that just doesn't really resonate with me. What if I develop my own theory? That we have the answers within us. And by listening, we can achieve whatever we want. And I had some previous childhood experiences that really taught me to trust myself at a very young age, that regardless of what people were telling me, or projections or things that were put upon me, or life circumstances that I couldn't control, there was still that knowing of truth within me. And it's within us all. So knowing this, I just started getting really happy and I started to follow my intuition. So going from LA, I felt like I wanted to go check out San Diego. I was born in Oregon, so California was always a dream, and it was a new adventure. So one weekend, while I was still in college, I actually went down to San Diego, to La Jolla, California, and I completely fell in love with it. I felt like it was heaven on earth. I remember like those big Mormon temples, like these white tower buildings, the oceans, the sky was absolutely gorgeous. And so I thought to myself, wow, like I said, this is heaven on earth. So I always have had an affinity and a deep, deep love for children. So I thought, how could I support myself moving here? And, knowing that I would leave behind this amazing opportunity of being in college, but yet it wasn't really fitting. So was it really going to serve me, right? Because anything that isn't in full alignment, there's either a lesson or a gift, or it means that we need to move in another direction. So with all these different body signs, I was also getting depression, all these different things. I thought, okay, I could be a nanny. So I had a plan, and I started creating a portfolio. So I basically put my portfolio together of other nannies other children that I had nannied for, and their letters and their pictures, and, just created this beautiful portfolio and talked to some agencies. And within a matter of months, I had walked into the dean's office at that college and said, I'm so grateful for this opportunity, but I'm going to be leaving. And he's like, you're getting amazing grades. You have the opportunity to play basketball. Like, are you crazy? No, I'm not crazy. I totally felt very certain. That's the other sign of intuition. There's a certainty. There's that deep knowing. And I said, thank you, but I'm complete. And so I walked out, and I just felt so free. I don't know if you've ever, maybe you decided to transition out of a job or a relationship or into something else, that sense of freedom and bliss of you just following your own truth. I was elated. And I had all these naked juices of all things, because I didn't like to eat the cafeteria foods, had all this extra food. And I just remember going into the streets of LA and just giving them away. And the sense of just serving and giving back made me feel even better. So I thought, wow, I can feel so good inside myself, and I can give back. This is the life. This is bliss. This is what I want. So took my little 1984 BMW, drove down the freeway, went back home to Oregon to connect and just to ground, to really get everything centered and ready and all my ducks in the row with these agencies and the ability to move back down to get this nanny job. And I believe it was probably 2 or 3 months I was there in Oregon, and then I started doing vision boards. So this is what we teach as part of it's a big process, but as part of what we teach is basically opening our third eye to experiencing what our soul has to teach us and show us. And so what I did is I did a vision board. So I started guiding my unconscious mind towards what my soul was telling me. And my mom has always been a great advocate of positive thinking, and she's like, you can do whatever you want, just follow it. So I did these vision boards, and within a matter of a couple months, like I said, I had an invitation to stay with somebody in San Diego that I had never met. And I said yes, and pure faith, following my intuition. I think I had like $20 in my pocket. That scholarship was gone, and it was for college anyway, so didn't have a whole lot of money at the time. And I drove back down. My parents came with me and just checked it out and started going on interviews. And I remember after the first couple, I didn't get any. And I was like, oh my goodness, like maybe I've totally made the wrong decision, like doubt set in. And I just had this deeper knowing. And I remember I prayed and I said, all right, God, just I made the wrong decision. I accept responsibility, but I'm just going to give it one more day. So the next morning I got a call from San Diego nannies at the time, and they said, we have the most amazing opportunity for you in La Jolla, California. This family's just split up, and they're looking for basically a mother type energy to fill in the position. They had an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old, and it was really part-time because they were at school, but they needed, care and cooking and the whole household thing, and it was a live-in position. So I knew it, they knew it, the moment that happened that I went on the interview, and it was just instant. And so I was able to move to La Jolla and start to build my practice. So being a nanny, I was able to ground myself and heal my inner child as well. But what I started to do is to get trained in things that I loved. I followed my heart. So I started going to massage school and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, hypnotherapy. All these different things started coming through. And so I thought, wow, like I'm just getting all these tools that are helping me heal from my childhood, and also I'm creating a life that I absolutely love. So one day sitting at my computer, I saw the words Life Force Connection, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's my company name. As we ignite the life force within us, we can heal and create the lives we desire as we follow our intuition. So that became my mission. And several months later, I enrolled in the Neuro-Linguistic Programming School and was able to connect with the president at a very deep level. Both him and his girlfriend were looking for yoga and meditation and massage. So I thought, wow, I wonder if I could just trade them for an office space at the university. And they said yes. It's amazing what happens when you ask and it feels in alignment. So I had my first office, and the people on the team and the assistant he had working with him were amazing. They just told me, get a website, do brochures, and they just started pointing me in the right direction. Somehow I got connected with a group of people doing networking, and it just started to unfold. And lo and behold, I started having clients. So I took the action, followed my intuition, and people were coming to me of all ages. And then I got really excited. I'm like, oh my goodness, I could teach. I could share this with more people. So we started doing workshops and speaking, and it just opened and blossomed. And so I remember putting an application in at another school that was next door for massage, saying, oh, I just love to teach there. Don't remember how long after it was, but I want to say like maybe a year later, maybe 2, they called me and asked me to teach business classes there. So as I'm teaching all these workshops, downloading intuitive information about how people can access their intuition and align with their chakras, which I trained very closely with Sonia Choquette. She's actually a colleague now of mine, and she's endorsed some of our products. And I just saw what happened when we opened and the possibilities. And then when I took the NLP, it cleared out the mental stuff that was blocking me and my clients. And then when I added business, it showed people how to create a business and a life they loved. So after, probably 2 years, I did the private practice. I transitioned into a wellness center where we offered the coaching, the counseling, and everything. Goodness, excuse me, here's my phone. And so from the counseling and the coaching and the massage and the workshops, it grew, and I wanted to speak more. So I started speaking at different networking groups and just really making a big impact around getting the message of intuition out. And so as I did that, my practice, of course, grew, but I started to lose my equilibrium. So I had to take some time to heal myself, took a couple of years off, and then I came back and did business coaching. And so what I found is applying the same process of activating our chakras, working with intuition, clearing the blocks, and then applying them to create lives that we loved, worked for business. And people were doubling and tripling their income. And I was like, wow, my goodness, this is really working. And so what happened is I walked into that same college that I got hired at years before to teach business classes, and they said, you ever thought of doing your own certification program? And I said, no, but I kind of realized I was sitting on one. So basically everything that I taught over the course of probably like 8 or 9 years at that time, I brought together, and we created the Intuitive Success Coaching Certification Program. And that's what we're going to give you a taste of. The first part of it in this workshop of Activate Your Purpose is how to align your chakras and your intuition. But what I did is, in that moment, I just said yes. And so I compiled all of that information, and they were able to help us get certified so we could offer it to students. And our very first class was 1 student. But I remember saying, you know what? Just 1 student is enough to know that I'm on the right path. And so the next semester, we opened our La Jolla offices and had 11 students. And it grew from there. It grew internationally. So the next class, we didn't have quite as many people, but then we started to launch new platforms. So I started traveling to Thailand and really getting interested in other cultures and how I could help. And then when I came back a couple of years later, we created what we have now, which is the online platform where we coach clients and students from all over the world, and we have this step-by-step process through video. So again, this activation is an in-person workshop in San Diego, but you can also continue if you'd like for the full certification program if you're interested in being an intuitive coach or learning how to develop your business. So basically, it just expanded, and as it expanded, you'll read in the other video or in my newsletter I created the One Heart Global, which after a very significant relationship, I was able to actually transform a heartbreak into a heart opening, where we opened One Heart Global, which is to serve the children of our world to have a home of love and safety. So we eventually want to teach them the same process and build our own orphanage. And currently we are actually working to raise money for the children in Bali. So that's what I was talking about. Some resources from the workshop go to that. And last year we went to Thailand, and we were able to help the children of the orphanage there. So each year we have a different calling, and we're giving back all the time. And we would just love your support in it. So as you are really listening to your intuition, I absolutely know you'll be guided to exactly where you need to be. And really, my invitation and purpose for this video today is to give you an intro into this live workshop July 28th, 29th, and 30th, where you can really develop your intuition and open up to that space within you that does know, and learn that as you activate these centers, which are really our guidance points, it's our ability to speak our truth. So real quick, I'll run through them. So your first chakra is your base chakra. So that's a foundation of love and safety and support in the world. So each chakra governs a different aspect of our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. And of course, that translates into our spiritual. So our second chakra is our intuition. It's our feeling center. It's our ability to have discernment. Like I said, that inner compass to know, go this way or that way. The third chakra is your decision. So this is where you believe in yourself. Each chakra also has a color. So the third chakra is the color yellow. And so if you infuse energy by spinning it in a clockwise direction, you actually bring more of that life force in. So you can go ahead and do that now to strengthen your power. So you just bring in that energy, that life force energy, and rotate it in a clockwise direction. That color yellow. Awesome. And then naturally, as one chakra balances, it'll move you up to the next. So the next one we have is our heart chakra, which is color green. So the color green basically activates it, but also opens us up to each other. So from our heart, we're communicating. From our own heart, we also forgive. And we have that love and forgiveness to also internalize. As you feel that center open, you move up to your fifth, which is your expression. So as you move up, you're now expressing from love. As you express from love, then you see with your third eye, which is your soul's vision of you, and guides you on that path of your highest potential, where your dreams can become reality because you're following your intuition and you're moving in alignment with your inner visions. So that's what happened. You know, last year was the first time we went to Thailand to first do the first project of One Heart Global. And the visions that I had of the kids were back when I was in high school, writing for the scholarship essay. And I remember seeing these visions of children that had dark skin, and I was next to them and we were building something. And there were just these gray, it looked like almost mud blocks, you know. I later learned there's actually, I forget what it's called, but there's something like that where it is mud actually you create with. I learned it in Ashland, Oregon. Super cool. So basically I saw this vision, you know, way back then. And then the vision started coming again about 10, 11 years later. And so then I followed those same visions and was guided to Thailand, where I worked with the kids in the orphanage. So what happens is you get these psychic intuitive visions, and then as it comes into alignment, you'll feel a yes in your gut, and you'll move in that direction. Your inner compass will point you there, and then you'll start taking those actions, and you'll come into alignment with it, and then you'll see the manifested vision that you once just knew as a vision. So it's super fun. And then the next chakra is your crown, so at the top of your head, and you just imagine white light going out the top of your head. And that connects you with the source of the universe. And then that white light comes back down through the top of your head, through your spine, all the way down to your tailbone and your feet, connecting you straight to the core of the earth. So go ahead and do that now. Allow that light to move through you, down through your feet, just illuminating every cell, activating that intuition within you. Breathing deep. Good. And bring your awareness back to your third eye and just see the light there. And I just invite you to allow the light within you to guide you and to open up to the visions that come then wait for your intuition to say yes, to pull you in that direction of your highest and best good. So I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. We'd love to have you join us in July. So if you're interested and you feel your heart pulling, you can email me directly at Abby, A-B-B-Y, at lifeforceconnection.com, and I will send you the direct link to the workshop. And then to visit the nonprofit, you can go to www.oneheartglobal.co. So I look forward to talking with you soon. And until then, keep following your intuition. Namaste. Bye.